Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. We got a deal today from men only.
So I really think going to these dating events is such an untapped opportunity for men.
Fellas, welcome
No.
back to the channel. Today we're talking about how singles events are officially doomed. With women begging men to show up and still being left on read, frustration is boiling
This has been like the theme the whole year of women throwing singles event and just begging men to show up.
over. The tables have turned, and now women
Turns
are
have
furious.
tabled.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Good guys aren't going to want to hit on you in public, right? I know for me, like, I'll see girls at the gym and I'll be like, yeah, like, I'd love to talk to them or whatever, but I don't want to weird them out, so I don't go for it. I think, like, where we are in society, right, guys, it's a lot easier. Obviously, we're just at a standpoint where we're bigger, we're stronger, we're scarier, period, right?
True.
So it's easy to scare women, but because of that, the good guys that have empathy aren't going to want to go up to you because they're going to scare you, at
Correct.
least in our minds, right? It's interesting because girls I see on comments will always be like, where have all the good men gone? And it's like, truth is they're still there. They're just not like wanting to talk to you out of fear of scaring you. I was having this conversation recently with, I think, my parents, and we were talking about how, like, in the old days, right, or like with grandparents, you'd hear, like, grandma would just be like, yeah, you know, I actually told grandpa that I didn't want to date him 7 times, and then he still kept going. And to us, it's like, oh, but, you know, they say that
7
and then they've been
times?
together for 50 years. So it's this weird thing. I don't know what the change is. People say Me Too all the time, and I think that's part of it, where it's now we're in a culture where it's, you know, highly emphasized to not bother women in that way, which is good, but it also leads to these things where the dating pool is so much different now.
Women unintentionally filtered out the very men they claim to want approaching them. You know, the ones with discipline, goals, emotional control, a career, and something to lose. Those men saw the signs. Public rejections posted online for clout. False
I mean, it's mostly the good guys that get blasted on the internet with these TikTok videos being called creeps.
harassment accusations over a simple hello, and the attitude that every man approaching is a threat. So what did they do? They stopped approaching. Because smart men think more than one step ahead, and they realized it's just not worth the risk anymore. Meanwhile, the creeps, the ones with nothing to lose, they never cared about boundaries in the first place.
Yep.
They're still approaching, still making women uncomfortable. Because they don't care if they're rejected, humiliated, or blocked. They thrive in that chaos. So now women are stuck asking, why do only weirdos hit on me? Simple. You made the good men invisible, and now the only ones left are the ones who don't care if you're uncomfortable. This is what happens when women move based on short-term emotion instead of long-term consequences. 100 women cheered on each other for, embarrassing, the guy who approached respectfully, without realizing they were training good men to stay away. They didn't think one step ahead. They didn't ask, how will this affect the men I actually want?
I mean, it's like that rat experiment when every time the rat touches the cheese, he gets shocked. You know, like after we touch the cheese enough or attempt to touch the cheese enough, we start learning. We don't want to get shocked.
Just wanted validation in the moment. And now they're surprised that the men they desire are keeping their distance? That's not oppression. That's cause and effect. Good men aren't cowards. They're calculated. They read the room. They understand that in today's climate, one misstep can cost them everything they've built. And no amount of beauty is worth being publicly accused, misunderstood, or mocked for simply showing interest. So they protect their peace. They build their lives. They connect with women who appreciate discernment over drama. So here we are. Women created a dating environment that punishes the respectful and protects the reckless, and now they're shocked by the results. You didn't scare men away, you scared good men away. And until women start thinking more than one step ahead, they'll keep attracting exactly what they don't
Men only. They don't even see this. They can't even see right in front of them.
want, while the men they do want are long gone.
So I went to a singles event last night in downtown Phoenix. I had seen their events on TikTok and it looked super fun, but it was not what I thought it was gonna be. Like I swear on the TikTok that I saw was that they had you fill out a questionnaire And at some point in the night, they like grouped people into groups so that you could mingle and get to know people out of your comfort zone, whatever. That's not what happened last night. It was at Pemberton, but the bar was still open to the public. So the event was just sectioned off in half the bar. But once you got into the event area, it was just like you were at a bar. There was nothing that made it special to a singles event to help you try to get to know people besides everyone in the bar was single. But then to enjoy,
Yeah, maybe go up and talk to people.
like Pemberton, you had to go out of the event area to get drinks. So like I paid for a ticket for like a private area of the bar, but it kind of defeated the purpose. I still had a fun night with my girls. I would highly not recommend going by yourself. There was like hundreds of people at this thing. There's no way I could have gone alone.
So she went to a
Didn't seem like there was an issue with no men then.
singles event, and she was shocked that it wasn't what she thought it was going to be. She walked in expecting a fantasy, tall, handsome, six-figure men falling at her feet like a Hallmark movie. Instead,
Probably.
she saw regular, hardworking men. Blue-collar guys. Average height, average looks, real jobs, real lives. And she didn't say it outright, but her face said it all.
Pretty
Where are
much.
the high-value men? Answer: they didn't show up because they're tired of women like you showing up with zero humility and a sky-high sense of entitlement. That's the issue with modern dating. Women show up expecting to be entertained,
I mean, they just show up and not expect to do any work. Like, oh, we're all the good men. All right, good men, come talk to me and wow me.
not to connect. They think being single and available means men should just line up and compete. But the real ones?
Exactly.
The guys with self-respect, good character, and long-term value? They're not playing in these events like they're on display for your amusement. They're watching from a distance, knowing that most of the women in those rooms aren't ready for what they say they want.
Most of the women in those rooms are miserable women that are over 30 with cats.
And what exactly did she expect? To walk into a room full of CEOs, models, and emotionally available men who all conveniently live within 10 miles and have no kids, no baggage, no flaws?
Pretty
That's not a
much.
singles event. That's a delusion. You passed up the guy who drove
These delusionaires.
an hour to be there. You ignored the man who greeted you kindly. You rolled your eyes at the one who didn't dress like an influencer. And then you left confused, not because the event was bad, but because reality didn't match your fantasy. The truth is, she didn't walk into a bad room. She walked in with a bad attitude. She wasn't there to meet men. She was there to judge them. And that's why nothing clicked. Because she forgot that dating is about connection, not perfection. She doesn't want a partner. She wants a curated experience that feeds her ego. And that's exactly why she's still single. So next time you're shocked that a singles event didn't meet your expectations, ask yourself this. Were you really there to find love or just to feel wanted? Because
Or to look for super Bruce Wayne.
good men aren't showing up to entertain you. They're looking for women who are actually present, not performing. And until women start leading with humility instead of entitlement, they'll keep walking away from rooms full of potential, still lonely.
I went to a singles conference on Friday, and my
Singles conference? There's a conference now?
spirit, while I was there, my spirit told me, no más, por favor. I am not going to no more of these, okay? That rhymed, period. I'm not going to anymore, and here's why. So that singles event was cool because they actually had a mix and mingle session at the end where they put us in a very cool atmosphere for people to talk and meet with each other. Although there was like 3 men there and 300 women, I loved the fact that they did that. I thought that was really cool. But my thing is, you go to one single event, you go to them all. They got the same message, and I'm going to tell y'all what they be saying so that you can know ahead of time. If you feel like you're called to go, go. If you feel like the Lord is telling you to go, go. If you've never been, go. If you want to mix and mingle with other single people, go. But let me tell you, this is going to be the singles conference starter pack. I'm going to tell you what you're going to get, okay? In no particular order. Enjoy your singleness. They are going to compare singleness in so many ways to an amusement park. You should be having the time of your life, okay? Being
So
single,
stupid.
all right? It is just a season. Whether it's been 10, 20, or 25 years, it is just a season. That's what they're going to tell you. You aren't ready. In so many words, they're going to tell you may or may not be ready. You may need more healing, more therapy, more this, more that. Get your money up, whatever they're going to tell you. Your person may not be ready. He may not have been released from whatever it is the Lord is doing. So the Lord is still pruning him or her. Wherever they are on planet Earth, we don't know. And what time they're showing up, we don't know. But you may not be ready and they may not be ready. There's going to be a married person at these events that is going to tell you, when I was single, I took it for granted. That's what they're going to say. And they're going to tell you so.
Are these singles events try to keep people single? Is this just like how the dating apps are, where they're making money off these people, so they don't truly want these people to actually match up? Is this what's going on? Because what she's saying is pretty much that.
So much that you need to enjoy your solitude, enjoy your time. Why? Because you have more time to dedicate to the Lord. And that is very true. But they're going to tell you this at every single singles conference. And that married person is going to almost make it seem like they missed their alone time in so many words, okay? Wait on the Lord is going to be played ad nauseum. And I love Wait on the Lord. The song hits me right here for reasons. But they're going to play it ad nauseum. And the overall theme of a singles conference is wait. Wait. Hold on. Almost hit me say wait. Okay?
So they are trying to keep you single.
Single panels. There's going to be a single panel. It's going to be single women. And it is going to be some particular woman is going to be almost 50 and she looks 30. That's always the case. And then there is going to be men of a certain age that are not married, but they are not single. Just let me let you know, they're probably not single. Now, obviously, I can't speak for every single panel, but they're going to be talking about worldly things. And I get it, because the dating pool out here is crazy. So, and they're going to sprinkle in the culture stuff. But those men on that panel probably have a baby and probably have a girlfriend. They're not single and they're not married and they're in their 30s. Anywho, steward your singleness well. Get your money up. Focus on you. Focus on your purpose. Focus on what the Lord called you to do. Steward, harvest, sow and what am I trying to say? Sow and reap? Yes. And then of course they're gonna beat you over the head with Paul, okay? Because Paul is the GOAT in this department, and he's not wrong. A lot of this stuff is not wrong.
I don't know who Paul is.
It's just you're gonna get the same regurgitation of information, okay? Jesus was single. Well, duh, because he was the Messiah sent to save humanity. So of course he's single. That one I'm sick of hearing. Okay. Now that is the little single conference starter pack that you will get. Tell me in the comments what I missed.
That's the conference? What kind of conference is this? It's like a trash conference.
Because I know there's more.
It's like 1,000,000 degrees in my apartment. Anyway, I just wanted to share something. Within the last 2 weeks, my dating life has been a little bit... I went on a date with this guy. It was a great date, great guy. But decided that it was just probably best if we remain friends. But I honestly meant that. It wasn't just a line. I really enjoyed his company. And I said, can we just be friends? Can we go to this movie? Same week, the guy that I was casually seeing.
So you dated him. You probably didn't like how he looked, but you liked his resources and how he treated you. So you still wanted to go out to a movies afterwards with him.
For a while, that just went off the rails. He ended up really not being this great guy that I thought that he had potential for, which is key because it was me looking for the potential in someone.
So the good guy that was nice, took care of you, you friend zone, and then the Chad that treated you like trash, you chased. We understand.
When the reality was he was showing me who he was. Sorry, I gotta fix my hair. Anyway, so I think in both these situations, probably before I could be spiraling and be like, what the heck is going on with my dating life? One guy's a really great guy, but I just want him as a friend. The other guy who I was attracted to, and he just turned out to be kind of like a douche canoe. And then I'm like, I'm over 40. My God, I'm not really matching with people on the apps. I don't really like anyone. What's going on? Oh my God. No. Instead, I'm choosing to just see this as this is life. Dating is a process, dating is a journey, and we don't control the outcome. I mean, it's great to have a vision if you want to have a long-term relationship. If that's why you're dating, great, me too. But ultimately, we don't control how a situation is going to unfold or how another person's going to respond to us, whether or not there's that chemistry or that compatibility, but we can control how we were responding to these situations, to these people. And a lot of the times, guys, it's really not about us. It's just about what it is. And we don't have to make it about us. We don't have to take that on. We don't have to make it personal.
Don't take any accountability or responsibilities for all the actions that happened in your life while you're single.
And instead, we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth, see it as a life lesson, see it as something that was fun in the moment, see it as, in terms of this guy, like a potential friendship, make the most out of it and move on and move forward, right? That's the thing. It's really about how do you want to create your life, and it's not to attach so much meaning on how these dating experiences are turning out or how someone is responding or reacting to you. The most important thing is, like, how do you respond to yourself? How do you react to yourself? What do you think about yourself? How are you choosing to see the situation? How are you choosing to see yourself? How are you choosing to see your life? The most important relationship, like I always say, is the one that you have with yourself. It would be great to fall in love and have a long-term relationship. Yes. So many times these relationships don't work out, though. I'm not trying to be a pessimist. It's like just reality. They end up in divorce, break up, or someone dies. It's life. It's like, how are we going to choose to respond to these losses in our life? Are we going to let them define who we are? Are we going to let them affect how we're going to date?
Yes, we're going to let them define who we are. That's the definition of us as a whole, is all the choices and mistakes and the great things we've made and done. Yeah, sometimes we have a lot more great things to show. Sometimes we have a lot more horrible things to show. But it's still the sum of all of our actions is us, personally. What are you talking about?
How are we going to choose to go on with our life? No. It's not always easy, and I'm not trying to simplify it because I definitely have my moments. But I also think it's like, I'm still here, I'm still living, I'm still breathing, and I still want to have meaningful experiences with people. I still want to have fun, and that's up to me to do that for myself. That's up to me to create that experience.
True.
And I don't want to let any of these other guys or these experiences that don't quote unquote work out to make me feel a certain way about my life or about my future.
No, you should take accountability and learn from them.
So it really is choosing to see the good in what has happened, not spiritually bypassing it, but just to have some control over your expectations, how you feel about yourself. And then also, like I said, like bringing it back to yourself. How do you feel about you? You gotta feel good about yourself because you're worth it. You're gonna have the longest relationship with yourself. So don't let dating and the obstacles or the challenges, so-called obstacles, so-called challenges, or these like little mishaps stop you from dating, but also stop you from loving yourself, knowing that you are worthy of having a good life no matter how it turns out.
This woman literally went on a great date with a great guy, respectful, stable, kind, and said everything was perfect, except she wasn't attracted to him.
Yep.
So what does she do? She hits him with the classic, "Let's just be friends." Meanwhile, the guy she is attracted to, of course, he's a Chad. Tall, flashy, emotionally unavailable, and probably not calling her back. And now, at over 40, she's sitting there asking, what the heck is going on with my dating life? Like it's some mystery. Let me break it down for her real quick. You're the problem. You had a man who showed you respect, consistency, and real potential, and you passed on him because he didn't make you feel butterflies. What you call lack of attraction is actually just years of conditioning to chase chaos, drama, and dopamine. You weren't ready for peace, because peace feels boring when all you've ever known is dysfunction. Now you're over 40, your options are thinning, and the Chads you're chasing? They're either
She said it. She doesn't match on the dating apps anymore. Yeah, I would imagine 40-year-old women matching too much on the dating apps.
done with the games or never took you seriously in the first place. See, this is the modern trap. Women say they want a good man, but when he shows up, they don't feel the spark because they confuse toxicity with chemistry. So they friend-zone the husband material, and chase the walking red flags, thinking, maybe this time it'll work. Then when it doesn't, they cry about how dating is broken. No, your chooser is broken. And here's the cold truth. At 40 plus, you don't get to keep making rookie mistakes and then ask why love isn't working out. You passed on commitment when it was offered. You chased excitement instead of stability. And now you're in a place where the men who once wanted you have moved on, and the men you want don't want you. That's not cruel. That's consequences. So next time you're asking, what's going on with my dating life? Look in the mirror. Because the answer isn't in the men.
Instead of just trying to ignore it.
It's in your decisions, your patterns, and your refusal to grow up emotionally. You don't need another great date. You need accountability. Because good men aren't waiting around forever, and neither is time.
Like if you were to do it in a bar, right? There's a chance that the person you're approaching is in a relationship or they're just not in the mood to talk. I think we've all been there, right? Like you've gone out with your friends and you're like, this is about me and my friends. This is not about other people tonight. And so I really think going to these dating events is such an untapped opportunity for men. And it's crazy to me because women's tickets for events sell out so quickly all the time. I've seen events where the women's tickets sell out within 15 minutes. And then...
Who's the desperate one? Who's the lonely one? Who has the lonely epidemic going on? Is it the men that aren't signing up for singles events? Or these women that are signing up in droves and selling out within 15 minutes? Please, let us know.
Men's tickets are still available until like an hour before the event. It's crazy. So yeah, I think I really believe in dating events, especially because I think there's actually way more manners in dating events. The problem with dating apps is like things like ghosting. And ghosting to me is a lack of respect and manners, right? It doesn't take much to say, nice talking to you, but I don't feel a connection, goodbye. Like it doesn't take much to do that.
True.
But because we're digital and we're just constantly swiping.
This woman is literally out here trying to convince men to start showing up at singles events. She's calling it an untapped opportunity for guys.
Yeah, to get fucking trashed on and rejected in person by 300 women at a time.
It's some hidden dating goldmine. But here's the thing. The men who would be chosen at these events don't even need them. And the men who need these events? Let's be honest. They're not the ones these women are showing up for.
No.
Because the truth is simple. Strawberries don't beg to be picked, and neither do desirable people. See, women who are actually desirable don't need dating events to meet men. They get approached at the grocery store,
True.
at work, at church, at the gas station. Men make time for what they value. So what kind of women show up at these events? Usually the ones who...
Leftover single moms. I'm sure more than half the event is just nothing but single mothers.
ignored good men for years, and now want to fast-track a relationship with someone they overlooked back in the day. And now they're shocked that the men they expect to see at these events are not showing up anymore. Because men have figured it out. If you're not a billionaire, mafia boss, 6 foot tall with abs, and an exotic passport, you're invisible to modern women. So they've stopped showing up. They're at home, in the gym, building businesses, investing in peace, and leaving the circus behind. And honestly, who can blame them? You told them they weren't good enough, and they believed you. So they checked out. Let's be clear, women built this system. They set the standards so high that even decent, loyal, grounded men don't bother anymore. And now the same women who created this unrealistic market are out here begging men to rejoin it through singles events? Nah, it's too late. You don't get to burn the bridge and then ask who's coming to dinner. So while she's trying to recruit men to fill
Yeah, I ain't crossing no burnt bridge.
seats at singles mixers, the real ones are already gone. They stopped applying for a job where the requirements make no sense and the reward is minimal. Because men finally realized peace at home is better than being judged at a singles event. And
Well, we always say, right? Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
when you've been told you're not enough, the best response is simple. Stay home and keep building.
Dating apps are a big issue right now because nobody likes them. They charge way too much for people to just see their type or find really anyone or even like anyone. So, what I have come up with, everyone needs to start having their own cards. The card should say your name, your phone number, and then a short message saying you thought they were cute and you would like to take them out if they are interested. And if not, just take it as a compliment and move on with your day. This would therefore make it a lot less creepy for guys to ask girls for their numbers, because
Girls are just gonna see this as you're some kind of pansy. And you're not confident that you're just giving him a card and kind of walking away.
you just give
Really?
the girl your card and then you can walk away. And then you don't have to worry about all the awkward conversations and all.
Yeah, because that's for sure always gonna, get a call back or something. Most women are just gonna throw those cards away.
All that stuff. You just wait for her to text you or she doesn't. And same thing with the women, except for it makes it a lot less daunting for the women to do that. So therefore,
I think if women did that, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
women would do it more and make it feel a lot less the woman sitting there trying to beg for the man's attention and for him to go out with her. So go get yourself some cards and go to those places on my list. Just be respectful. That's all that matters.
This woman
She's acts like, just do it. It works, duh. Obviously.
is literally calling out dating apps, saying they're the problem, that they charge too much, nobody's finding their type, and nobody actually likes them. But let's get real for a second. Dating apps didn't break the dating scene. People did. They just exposed it. Now she's pitching this brilliant new solution, like it's some revolutionary idea. Hand out cards with your name, number, and a cute message like, hey, I think you're cute.
It's called a business card.
Cute. Text me if you're interested. Really? That's the plan now? Playing Pokemon cards with strangers in public? Here's the funny part. If a man actually did that, you already know what would happen. Screenshots,
Rejected.
social media posts.
Exactly.
Why is this creep handing out cards like...
Exactly, right? They're just gonna take a picture of the card, post it on the card. Oh, some creep came up to me and sent me this card, has your name on it.
It's 1995. It wouldn't be cute. It'd be labeled harassment. Unless he looked like Jason Momoa in a tailored suit.
True.
So let's stop pretending this is about finding real love. Because the standard for who's allowed to approach hasn't changed. It's just gotten worse. And let's not ignore the hypocrisy here. You're complaining about dating apps being fake, transactional, and shallow, but then you want men to approach you in person with a literal note like it's middle school? What happened to don't talk to me at the gym? Don't interrupt me in public? Let me exist in peace. Women made it dangerous for men to approach, and now they're mad that men don't approach anymore. You can't have it both ways. The real problem isn't the app. It's the entitlement. You want dating to be free, easy, romantic, instant, respectful, and filled with options.
And effortless.
But only if those options meet your fantasy criteria. Meanwhile, men are out here dodging false accusations, rejection, humiliation, and still being told, you're not doing enough. At some point, the system isn't broken, you're just delusional about how it works. So keep your little compliment cards if you want. But don't act shocked when most men don't play the game anymore. They've realized that whether it's online or in person, if you're not 6 feet tall, rich, and hot, your efforts won't be seen as romantic. They'll be seen as offensive. And that's not a dating app problem. That's a you problem.
I'm doing something so for the plot in my single era, but I'm going to a dating event, guys, in London. I just thought it would be so much fun. But I'm about to head off now. I'll show you my outfit. Okay, I hope you all approve. I could go like a little bit casual, but still cute. So I've gone trainers and a dress. And
I don't hate on the outfit. I think it's a proper, normal outfit. It's like a tennis skirt, right?
I feel like the bag
That's what it looks like to me.
and my sunglasses, like, just zhuzh it up a bit. Because I feel like this dress, it's not casual, but it's like, I want to give that I'm a smart, intellectual girl as well. So the bag, I just think looks good. But I'll update you from...
You know what's so funny now? I'm sure you guys have noticed this. There's just a hope, at least in California. I don't know about other states, but in California, so many girls now are holding the Trader Joe's little tote bags with the Labubu, like, keychain or the Labubu thing, the doll thing attached to it. And every girl's just walking around like this with it. And it's just like, so it went from like Louis Vuitton and all of these other things to now a Trader Joe's tote bag and a Labubu. Women.
I don't know where. Maybe the bathroom. Let's go, girls! Okay, I'm back. I'm going to tell you what it was like. I really enjoyed it though. So all the girls had the option to be added into a group chat together, which I thought was a really nice touch. So we all were like swapping outfits.
So all the girls get put into a chat group together so they can, what, bash and talk shit on all the men that they're meeting and seeing and confirming to each other who's ugly and not? Is that what you just literally did?
And I feel like we were just making friends already. So even if the date doesn't go well, it's like you also like have the chance to meet like other single girls in the same position as you.
Yeah, to keep you still keep you single and keep going to this event.
To go in, get a drink. It's a little bit like, oh, it's not nerve-wracking, but then it kind of just like eases off, and it's just like really nice to be chatting. It doesn't feel awkward. And whoever gets there early, you can all have the option to like have a drink and just chat together. So I recommend doing that because you can size up the talent. The people that ran the event as well were super nice. I went to someone's type, by the way. Really recommend it. It was so good. And then they ring the bell and they're like, right, everyone, all the girls sit down, and the guys are gonna jump from table to table. You get 5 minutes with each guy. And it was actually really nice because instead of like when you go on a date with someone on Hinge and you've just committed to an hour, and they sit down and you realize,
oh, now you just committed to an hour. This is why we ask for coffee dates and walk dates.
straight away, oh my god, they're not my type, or this conversation's gonna be awful. You only have 5 minutes with these people, so you can like, you don't have to sit through like 20 horrendous hour-long dates. You only have to do 5 minutes. It's quite nice. And it was just super nice to get to know people. And actually, all the guys were actually really nice and friendly. There was one that I quite liked, and I thought like maybe he sort of suited me in terms of like similar like job layouts maybe, but I'm not sure if I was actually getting a vibe, so we'll see. We have to get our forums through where we like tick off who we liked, so I don't know if I'm going to tick if I liked him or not, but we shall see. Even if you don't find someone who's like a really good match, I'm now in a group chat now with like 20 other single girls who are all super friendly, and I'm like, we should all meet for a drink, and it's just cute. So yeah, it's not as nerve-wracking or awkward as you might think, and it's not like pathetic either. Like I felt a bit like, oh my god, is this pathetic going to a dating event? But I feel like it's just the same as like creating a dating profile. It's just another way of putting yourself out there. This one's just much more enjoyable and sociable. Just kind of felt like a night out, really.
Exactly. It's for you ladies, it's just like a night out with the girls. Why would we want to go to a night out with the girls? All you're gonna do is whisper to each other, innuendos with each other about the men that are there. and most of those men probably don't qualify for any of the women because they just have too high of a standards because they don't need no men. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that.